preparation of a set of building plans starts when an owner or a developer approaches an architect or engineer with an idea for a new building. However, before starting to develop, some people spend a long time with the planning process. As they say, the best houses have every aspect planned out before any field work is done. In the words of our elders in Akan, and then you see what them as I did here. Joining us once more to have this conversation is Engineer Ebenezer Asumeni. He currently works with the local government services, specifically the Ota Municipal Assembly. He holds HND in Civil Engineering from Accra Technical University, Bachelor of Engineering, Civil Engineering from Accra Institute of Technology, and Master of Science Construction Management from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Hello, my brother and good friend. Good to have you again.
Hello, good morning, Felix. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Hope you are doing great as well.
Doing good. I'm doing good. Good to meet again.
All right. So as I earlier mentioned, we are discussing the topic, securing a building plan, an essential step in the construction process. First off, may I know from you, what is a building plan?
Building plan. A building plan is a set of documents or graphical representation of a building on paper. It shows how the building will look like after completion. Literally, that's what I would put it.
Okay.
The graphical representation of the it shows how the building will look like after construction.
Okay. All right. So, can I draw my own building plan as a layperson?
As a layperson, you cannot draw your own building plan unless you go to the architect, the engineers. They are licensed to develop building plan or design a building plan.
Oh, okay. So I cannot do it at all as a layperson.
No, layperson, you cannot do your own building plan. Normally some of the masons will do some sketch of paper, go to the site. They are not licensed or approved to be used as a building plan.
Okay. So, may I know the individual roles of a draftsman, an architect, and a civil engineer, and especially when it comes to building plan?
Very good question. Draftsman and a civil engineer or an architect, their roles are interrelated. They all play roles to some points, and the draftsman will do a draft. Normally, we call them draftsman, but they produce drafts of a building. An architect is a professional who design a building from the initial to the completion. The engineer and the architects work hand in hand. And we always say the job of the architects is a nightmare for the engineer. But the architect will do a nice on paper, a 3D, nice, and he will do the engineer to design for the building to stand. So the engineer will do the structured drawing. Beams, columns, slab, foundation footings. The engineer have to calculate the reinforced bars that will come into the building for the building to be able to stand as the architect design 3D. So their roles are interrelated.
Okay.
And they all have their limit.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I hear you building engineers usually say that there's more to building a home than just telling you that we want 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Is that the case?
Yes, that's the key. There's more to a building. Somebody can come to you. I want this type of building. They will show you a sample. I want this man's building the same, but looking at his land space, vis-a-vis his that he or she wants, it won't fit into his land. So unless you design to suit the land, some areas are very sandy, some are clay, some are gravel. So the design should suit the soil type. Maybe in this area you can dig to 2 feet ray, then you can get a hard ground. But some areas they are clay. Unless you go deeper, you have to extract and bring in falling materials to support the ground. So there is more to a building than I want a 3-bedroom. This with toilet and bath, kitchen. The layout would differ. Like I have a 3-bedroom, small size, maybe 4-bedroom or 3-bedroom with a bigger land space. It all depends what goes into it.
Okay. Okay. I'm grateful. But what do you require from your client before commencing on your drawings?
Okay, I will ask for the site plan so that we can establish the boundary and the land size of the plot. So the site plan I will inform you, this is the land, it's 100 by 100, 80 by 70. So that you design to suit the land space. And normally in designing, you should design to use 70% of the plot should be used, while 30 will be used for other activities.
Okay.
Car park, get other layouts. You can't design to cover the whole land. There should be a portion reserved for other activities. Landscaping and other ones are also there to be doing design.
Okay. 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 So you take the site plan, you check the boundaries, and then you look at the layout. And then also
well, sometimes you have to go to the ground to go and see things for yourself. Sometimes the site plan will be 70 by 100. But you go to the ground, it's now maybe 40 by 100. It has changed. You have to also go to the grounds to look at the boundaries before you can even commence signing a body.
And the wind, yes, you look at the wind and then
the wind direction. The wind direction, where to position the body. That one will come in when you're going to be setting out.
Okay.
If you need to set out the body, that's why you look at the wind or the wind direction, or the sun, how the sun rises. That you can position the body well so that it won't receive sun early in the morning or whenever it's raining, the gables will face the rain. So
how do you determine that? How do you do that?
Oh, sometimes we talk to the locals who are around. They can give you better information. This is how the rain comes from or the sun. So when they tell you, oh, this is how this area is, the sun comes from this area, or whenever it's raining. So it will pre-inform you how to position the building to avoid any heat or any rain getting the building.
I was just thinking that once the land is facing the road, you just design and build to face the road so that, I mean, you just branch from the road to the house.
It's true. Most often, the frontage will face the main road. But where where that person faces the rain, which means you should provide shade at the window level to block the rain from entering the house or the sunshine from directly hitting the room early in the morning.
Okay.
So it depends on all these things. You look at all these things before you can design.
Okay. So what specific drawings should I expect from the complete set of construction documents?
Okay, we have two types of drawings. The engineering drawing and the
I didn't get the first one.
Architectural drawing. The engineering drawing, engineering drawing.
Okay.
The architectural drawing, architect drawing. The architect drawing will include foundation, floor plan, elevation sections, plumbing, electrical layouts, all come together to form the architect drawing. But engineering drawing is a structural aspect where the columns will design, the slab, the footings, the rebars will be calculated, how many bars you need to form all these aspects. So the architectural drawing comes with the engineering drawing. They come together to form a set of drawings that's complete.
Oh, okay. 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 All right. And then what's your turnaround time for designing, say, a 3-bedroom residential facility?
Oh, a 3-bedroom within 14 days, you should be able to finish with all details well provided. Depending how big the building will be. A 3-bedroom for one person. 3-bedroom, 14 days. 14 days. Yeah, 14 days.
Oh, okay. Oh, Okay, 14 days. Can you use less days? It depends on the situation.
Yes.
Less than this.
Yes. If I use less days, depending how fast the person wants it. But at a normal working peak, 14 days should be enough for 3-bedroom house.
Okay. Okay. So do you care to visit your client site, confirm or monitor the progress of work, or you don't really care? Once you finish drawing your plan, I think you are good to go.
That's a very good question. Sometimes clients will come to you, I want a drawing, I want a design. You will do design for the person. When the design, you should visit the site. After designing everything, even giving it to them, they will come back to you again. Before you see they are on a site working. Because normally they will say, oh, maybe you charge them something extra for monitoring. So in the actual sense, you should start from the beginning to the end. Designing, you supervise the projects, you monitor, but they will do what is right on the site. But that will come at a fee. It's not free, actually. So it depends on the client, whether he will allow you to supervise the project for him or her, or they want only their drawing and they will go. And the masons will continue doing their own thing on the site.
No, okay. Then why would you, I mean, as part of the process, involve them right from the beginning, inform them even before you get a drawing done, that as part of the process, we will do the stage one, we will do the drawing, and then also there's a stage where I have to follow through with you to the site. So they will be aware.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes whenever they come and maybe you give them the cost from the design, supervision, they always say, oh, it's too much. You give me the drawing. Later, I'll call you, and that will be the end of the story. So whenever they come, we tell them, oh, the design is this, the supervision is this. But the cost facing, sometimes they are scared. So I have my own mason, I have my own foreman who can do it for me. They have been burdened already. So let me go and give it to them and they can do it for me. But you as a professional, you should be on the project from the start to the finish before you wash your hands from it. But the cost implication, sometimes the clients are scared or like they can't afford, so they go for the foreman and the masons who are literally bricklayers. They are not professionals to advise technically. Some cannot even read drawings. Even the feet and the meters, some struggle to convert from meter to feet unless the engineer or the architect will guide them. But the cost, because if you want me to come and be on your project, I will charge extra for my fuel to the site, my permission fee. So you finish the project. That will be a great cash to the client. Sometimes they come for the drawing and they are gone.
Oh, okay. I think this masons sometimes, boast of experience as in they doing, even though we are calling them bricklayers, some, have done it over the years and then believe that they some even call themselves very professionals and all that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Some will say we are experienced, but the person who manufactured the car and the fitter who is maintaining it, who can do it more better?
Yeah.
The fitter who is maintaining magazine or let me see, company, and the person who manufactured the car. When there's an issue with the car, who can do it better?
The manufacturer.
There's a manufacturer who can do it better. So if I design my own for you, drawing for you, and like to come to interpretation, I will do it more better than the mason.
Yes, and I agree 100%.
But they have done it for 10, 20 years, so they always show their experience. But sometimes whenever you go to the site, there are so many mistakes that they do. They think it's okay, it's normal, we have been doing it, but they are all wrong. We used to correct them whenever we go to sites. But they feel we are experienced. I worked for the past 40 years. So I can do it. But an engineer with a 2 or 3 years experience can point so many mistakes on the phone to them, and they are like amazed. That's how it is.
Okay. Besides that, when can we request changes, and what might changes during construction mean for the project?
Changes to a design should be done at the initial stage, because me as an engineer, I'll do my draft, I'll share with you the clients. do your inputs. They also do their input. I will do all the corrections. I will share with them again for their final inputs. So if you want to change any design on the burden, you should do it at the initial stage. You shouldn't let them finish the drawing, get to be approved. And the mason will tell you, oh, we can close this door and open here, and the client will follow. Or we can even bring cut this pillar off and bring this thing here. Whenever you do changes to the design on the floor, it affects the whole building.
Mm-hmm.
Most building collapses because the mason and the clients sat on the site and they did their own changes. That's even going back to the engineer to seek their technical advice whether it's feasible. They will do it on the site before you realize the building is down. And the mason cannot be held responsible. The engineer who stamped and signed the drawing who should be held responsible.
Oh, okay, so the changes should be done
at the design stage.
Mm-hmm.
The design stage. If you want to add more rooms to it, or if you want to cut some pillars off, or tell the engineer and the architect, they will come together and redesign for to suit the purpose. Because sometimes when we are designing, you look at the load coming on the building, the wind load, the dead load, before we design. So if you want to eliminate some columns, you end up between the building. The load coming on it cannot stand; it will collapse.
Okay.
So we consider so many things before we design.
Okay. So would there, who will be at risk? Is it the builder, the artisan or the owner when these changes are effected?
When you do these changes, the clients will be at risk because the final product is for you, the clients. But when there is a collapse, the engineer who signs on the drawing will be held responsible. The engineer will also, okay, fine, let me go and check what that they did, what I said, the drawing. When you go to the ground, you said 18 mm, but they have used 12 mm as columns for a 12-story. That one you can't blame the engineer. If only he was on a project from the start to finish. But if he wasn't part of the project, you came for your drawing and you are gone. The drawing is saying that 18 mm, 6 bars per columns. And you go and do 12 mm, 4 bars per columns, and there's a collapse. The client and his mason should be that responsible, not the engineer.
But in this case, how would you be able to convince the authorities that this is what or it will be seen? I mean, the evidence to show
on a drawing. Yeah, on a drawing. This is the design that I did for them. 18 mm, 6 per column. But on the ground, they have done 12 mm, 4 per column. It's a total different design. They have done their own design.
I want you to be blamed for lack of supervision. Or that won't come to you.
That's where I was saying the clients will come for their drawing, and because you will charge them extra to supervise it for them, no, they won't come back to you again. So that will come to the municipal assembly to enforce that the drawing that they take for permits, is what they are doing on the ground. So that's why, as a municipal assembly, we go to the field daily to ensure that the drawing that you came for permits is what you are doing. But the drawing is saying 18 mm, 12, you will demolish it.
Okay, I get you now. I get you now. So, what goes into how much you charge, your clients?
Very, 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 very interesting question. We charge looking at the complexity of the drawing or of the building. Somebody will come for a 2-bedroom, a very small, easy design. Somebody will, I want 10-story building. That one will demand more time and more research. So you charge the 10-story building more than the 2-bedroom. Looking at the complexity of the whole building, it will tell you the charge.
So it all depends on the complexity of the building.
Yeah, of the building. The bigger the building, the more you charge.
How about the location?
The location also play a very important. Let me give you an example. Like in Kumasi, Edum is a prime area.
Yeah.
So if somebody is designing at Edum, the charge will be a bit higher than Mampontin or Agona or any of the sub districts within the Greater Kumasi. So even Accra, Amasaman and Kaneshie cannot be the same price. Because Kaneshie is a primary area where it goes with the industrial or big buildings. So the engineer will charge more working on that project than working in Amasaman or Dodua, where it's a less busy area.
Okay. So we'll go by the complexity and then the location.
The locations and the purpose of the building. Is it industrial? Is it a commercial? Is it a residential? Some residentials are even bigger than even industrial, depending on the complexity.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. I think I have a few questions, 1 or 2 questions to go.
Okay.
I hope you wouldn't mind if your client requests for references, to works you've done previously.
Oh yeah. Sometimes whenever it comes, some works you used to, some are also being introduced by people, by maybe other clients that they have worked for before.
Yeah.
So it depends how the person will come on. Maybe I want to do this ABCD. So maybe this person introduce you to me. Some people come to the office, maybe they don't even have a drawing. Then you aid them to get a drawing. Then you aid them for them to go to the process, get a permit. And if they want your services, you talk to them and you agree on terms and conditions. Then you go to site with the person.
Okay. So that is referrals and then working customers, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll be willing to share works with that people. All right. My last question: what do you enjoy most about being an engineer?
Wow. Being an engineer comes with a lot of joy if you're able to solve problems. Because you are trained to solve problems. You are trained to bring new ideas to the community. You are trained to help the community to develop. So if you're able to design a burden for somebody and the burden is being completed, whenever you are passing, looking at the burden and the design and the price of work done, it brings you more joy that you are contributing to society. You are solving problems. You are helping the community to come out from so many issues that they were facing then. So as an engineer, you are there to solve problems. That's your main work.
All right. I'm grateful, engineer as well. Okay, so my takeaway. I mean, I would keep some points. Let me run it.
Okay.
I mean, you started by defining the building plan, which you said is a graphical representation of a building on paper.
Okay.
And they said lay people cannot, build their own house or design their own homes. And you gave the differences, the individual differences between the draftsman, architect, and then a civil engineer. You said draftsmen, they work on the draft of the building. But you first started by saying that the rules are interrelated, actually. And then you said architects, are professionals who develop from in the foundation to finish. And then you said civil engineers, work hand in hand with the architects. But the quote, you said that the dream of the architect is the nightmare of the engineer. And then engineers also work with deal with the structural issues of the drawing. And then for what you require from your clients, I think you said that you look at the site plan, you also check the boundaries, the layouts, and then sometimes even request for rain and wind direction. You also work on the ground plan, foundation, the sectional, electrical layout. That is the roles of the architect as well. And then you said there are 2 types of drawings. You said we have the engineering one and then the architectural drawings. And then for the changes on the site, you said that it should be done at the initial stage, as in the drawing stage, so that changes wouldn't affect the structural integrity of the building. I think your charges is based on the complexity of the building, the location, and the purpose of the building. And then refer us to, you wouldn't mind to even show clients what you've done previously and all that. And then you concluded by saying that, your work is a joyous one, especially when you see your finished work. I mean, it brings you a lot of joy, and the fact that you engineers solve a lot of problems, makes you so happy. I think that's about it. Is there anything you want to add to this conversation?
Okay, I'll end by saying every developer should first see the service of an engineer, architects, who are professionals who can advise them in designing their dream house in order to avoid waste of resources and money, in order to avoid collapse and other issues that comes with shoddy works. If you want your work to be done well, seek an engineer who will advise technically, but you won't waste materials and resources on sites.
Okay.
That would be my day.
Thank you very much, Engineer Subin. So we've come to the end of our discussion, and as we did in our first interview, if you wouldn't mind, we can share your contact for viewers who may need your assistance.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So you can go ahead with your contact, please.
Okay, if you want to reach me, 0249 419063. We are there to serve you. We are there to do quality services with trust and loyalty. We are there to give advice to any client who wants our services.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Felix. Thank you.
We're grateful.
I'm so grateful. Right. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
All right, you too. Thank you so much for watching. See you in our next episode. Bye.